What's up, guys? It's Gina Ifo, the one and only African superstar. I'm back at it again with another live stream. Big shout outs to the African superstar family. We are continually growing. Let's go ahead and grow it back the way it once was. Yes, yes, yes. I want to welcome all the new viewers to the channel. If you like my content, please make sure you subscribe. Don't hesitate to support our channel. If you're watching this live, you can send super chats. Otherwise, the information is down below of how to support this platform. Secondarily, you can support my music career. Hello, if you're an African superstar music fan, please head over to Bandcamp. That's BANDCAMP and purchase some of my music. Yes, to support the music project, as well as we have an upcoming tour October 2024 in Ghana. If you are looking to visit Africa, you don't want to come alone, you don't want to be with people you don't know, or you're nervous, please come on one of our tours. Me and my tour partner, Mr. Taya Huru, will give you a great first glance into Ghana. Much love to the family. I see some of you guys are already in the building. What's up, family? I see you, Ms. Minute. So I hope you are doing well. Big shout outs to everybody else. Please be on code when you come in the room. You should know what to do by now. Like the stream, leave a comment, greet me, be a part of the conversation, support the stream, share the stream, all the above. Today's topic is opportunity in Africa is surrounded by obstacles. Now, a mature adult understands that to make money, you have to spend money. To grow things, you have to invest. Sometimes it takes time. It's only a juvenile mind that expects an instant return. The minute you put $1 in, you're expecting 1,000 to come back out. These kind of, things. Kind of like, I can give the analogy of like a tooth fairy. You lose your tooth as a child, you put it under your pillow, and the next morning you wake up and there's $1 there. In reality, that's not how business works. That's not how anything works. Things work by diligence, persistence, and things like that. And therefore, when you come to Africa, I just want to state for the record, I just want to ready your mind that opportunity is 100% there. It's definitive that there is opportunity in Africa. However, that opportunity is surrounded by various challenges. Now, for those of you guys that's here, we only have a couple of you here so far. Can you come up with some of the potential challenges that you might face in Africa when you are going there to take advantage of opportunity? Big shout outs to Nana Dream. Shout outs to my moderators, those of you guys with the ranch. I see you guys are on code today. Yes, yes, yes. I'm currently on holidays in the US visiting family. I'm in Ohio, but as you guys can see, my mind is just buzzing. I'd say that's one of the positives when I come to the West is that I'm so intellectually stimulated by things that I see and what's happening around me. And it's very motivational for my aspirations in Africa because I see what the alternative is. And I don't want to have to make this my reality again. And so therefore I need to excel and I need to be successful in my endeavors. Okay. Big shout outs to the African superstar family. The first trivia question is, what are some potential obstacles that you are going to be confronted with when you go to Africa? My backyard came with a big one, immigration. Okay. So for those of you guys that have not traveled much or haven't even begun the process, you have not yet got your passport. I don't know what is wrong with you, but just for an example, immigration can be a challenge. All right. First and foremost, when you come to Africa, you have to get your visa sorted out. You might have to work around those vaccines that are required, your yellow yellow fever, or, during COVID time, they were requiring the COVID vaccine. When you live in Ghana, trying to get your residency, trying to get your citizenship, if you're planning on working or starting a business, trying to get all that stuff worked out. Okay. Now, again, a juvenile mind is going to think, I'm going to buy my plane ticket to Ghana. I'm going to come to Ghana. It's going to be a tremendous homecoming. Everybody's going to celebrate me. There are some people here on YouTube that, they have these fantastic homecomings. Now, let me first tell you guys, hello. I know you guys have probably seen the clips of celebrities coming to Ghana or politicians coming to Ghana, or musicians, or, you know, famous people. And at the airport, for instance, they get that drumming. You know, you'll see the dancers, you'll see the drumming. Let me tell you, that's a paid service. Okay. Somebody has arranged for those dancers and drummers to be there. When you, the average person, gets there, they're not going to be there. I just want to prepare you, because I realize that I have an audience that is a hard split. Okay. We have the mature minded individuals that understand that us going to Africa is a process. And then we have the juvenile people that they're thinking more like what's that movie with Eddie Murphy, Coming to America. Okay, they expect when they go to Africa, you know, everything's going, the red carpet's rolling out, everybody's hype, you're there, everybody's friendly, everybody, you know, it's all good. Okay, now the people, unfortunately, listen, and don't feel any offense if this pertains to you, but unfortunately, some people operating with the juvenile mind are the ones that have the most negative experiences, because they do not have a realistic perspective about the continent, nor have they been there. And so when they go, they are vulnerable. And obviously the opportunists can sniff it on you, they can smell it on you, and they take advantage. Okay. So again, when you come to Africa, when you come to Ghana, you go to Nigeria, you go wherever, you go to Kenya, you know, you think you're going to go to Kenya and you're going to see the Maasai tribe. Let me tell you, you got to go look for the Maasai tribe when you get to Kenya. When you get to Kenya, the Kenyans are westernized. Okay. They wear suits and ties. They wear Western clothes. Matter of fact, when I wore kente cloth in Kenya, the Kenyans was like, oh my God, are you from West Africa? I love this African prince. You would have thought you were talking to a white person, not another person on the African continent. Okay. But that's the difference between the mature mind and the juvenile mind. Okay. So the first trivia question, we have over 10 of you guys here, I should be able to get some more answers, is what are some of the potential challenges you're going to face when you go get opportunity in Africa, when you go look for it? First one was immigration. And that one is a serious one, because again, juvenile minded people that are ignorant, you know, people don't need to be offended when the word ignorant is used, by the way. Okay, because I'm a very well-educated person, so I have a big vocabulary. But let me break down ignorant. Okay, because some people get offended when you call them ignorant. Ignorant simply means that you don't know. And the vast majority of the diaspora, if they're honest with themselves, unless they have been, you know, versing themselves in Africa, they are ignorant to Africa. Okay, they're ignorant to Africa. They're ignorant to Africans. They're ignorant to African history. Okay, they don't know what the hell is going on over there. And that is a mature person saying, you know what? I don't know. I have no idea what this means. I'm out of my league, so to speak. I'm out of my familiarity. All right. It's not, you don't have to be ashamed that you are ignorant. Okay. But you don't have to remain ignorant. You can actually teach yourself if it's important enough for you to learn. All right. So there are many, many obstacles that you are going to face when you go to Africa, whichever African nation you're looking at. Okay. And you should anticipate it. That's why I'm doing this video. Okay. So that you understand that when you come there, you think you're going to come there and it's going to fall in your lap. It's not. Okay. You think you've got your whole master plan mapped out. Okay. I'm going to move to Ghana. I'm going to find a husband or wife in a year. I'm going to buy this land. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it's going to be smooth sailing. Hello, newsflash. When you try to take advantage of opportunity in your Western environment, is it easy? Hello? Is it easy where you're coming from? It's not easy where you're coming from. Where do you get the concept that going to a brand new country in which you are ignorant of is going to be easy? That is a juvenile mentality. And I got to talk about these things, guys, because why? Because I want my people to be successful. I feel like we have been robbed of a lot of opportunities. We have been robbed of a lot of information. You know, we have been strategically held back. We have been victimized. You know, the list goes on of all the disadvantages that our people have faced. It's not an excuse that for you not to be productive, but the reality is that, you know, For you to be successful, you're going to have to change your mentality. And if you want it in Africa, because in my opinion, I feel that opportunities are very limited in the West for our people. You know, I talked about the glass ceiling on my live stream yesterday. And so there's a limit to what you can do here in the West, especially if you want to stay true to self. Now, if you don't mind selling out, you don't mind, you know, becoming a transgender or homosexual or an Oreo or whatever, throwing your family under the bus, throwing your values under the bus, then you can escalate a little bit more. See, the thing about people that sell out, they'll give you a little bit edge, just a little bit. And then when they're done with you, whatever cause they wanted you to serve, then they'll just totally eradicate you out of the scene. Okay, they've done it to so many people. They lift you up, they'll bring you down. Just like my mom would say, some of you guys can relate. Your parents will say, I brought you into this world, I can take you out. That's how the powers that be operate. Okay, I gave you fame, I gave you money, I gave you relevance, I gave you, visibility. I can take all that stuff away. And some of these celebrities, when they get too big for their britches, that's what the powers that be remind them. Oh yeah, you still in effect work for me. You do what I say or else. Big shout outs to the family. Queenie's in the building. Big shout outs to African Superstar family. I'm trying to ready you guys for the fact that opportunity in Africa is there. 100%, 1000%. We all agree. Okay. I don't think there's anybody in their right mind that can actually say out of their lips, there's no opportunity in Africa. Plenty of opportunity in Africa. However, that opportunity is surrounded by challenges. Are you fit? Are you about it? Are you ready? Are you going to go get it? Huh? Shout outs to all the runaways out there, all the runaway slaves that didn't know what they faced on the journey to freedom, but all they knew. Thank you, Nana Dreams, for that love. I appreciate you. Big shout outs to Nana Dreams. She's showing love. Thank you, baby. Shout outs to all those runaways out there that they didn't know what they faced on their road to freedom. I talk about this analogy sometimes. Okay. All they knew was if I go north, that's where freedom is. They heard it through the grapevine. They heard it on the Underground Railroad. They heard the slave masters talking about it. They heard through various ways that, okay, if I go north, if I get out of here, if I cross the Ohio River, if I get up to Canada, if I go wherever, whatever, I can have freedom. That's it. When it comes to Africa, that's it. Okay. You are going to face some challenges on your journey to the motherland, 100%. Okay. You're going to be, your friends and family going to try to discourage you. You got to figure out how to create streams of income. You got to learn about a brand new culture in your adulthood, maybe a new language. You got to navigate social scenes. You got to figure out demographics of a brand new city. Hello. You got to go through potential schemers because they see you're coming and they want to take advantage, or they see that you're foreign and they think you got money. Let me tell you, right now, I could probably go through a list of probably like 100 different things that when you decide you're ready to go to Africa, you're going to face it, or you could face it. But again, shout outs to those pioneers. It's like, you know what? I'm going to ride the wave. My potential in Africa is bigger. The opportunities are bigger. The scale is bigger. The freedom is more. I don't care what costs I got to take, but I'd rather pay those costs and get those potential outcomes than stay here and live in a little box and live. Because if we're real about it, we know where the limit is here, guys. We know where the limit is. When we look at ourselves in the Western settings, we are limited. And to me, living like that is such a hopeless life. Imagine that you're young and able-bodied and you're creative and you're innovative and you have so much to give potentially. But all of your potential is being siphoned by a mundane, tedious, draining, hopeless life that's taking up your time, disrupting your mental stability, dwindling your youth. I mean, it's crazy. Visionary people need to feel like they can still access their potential. It's very, very important. Big shout out to Nana Dreams. Africa is not cheap, but it's worth the cost. Facts. I don't care if my freedom is $1 million. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if I never become a citizen of Ghana, if I got to go through immigration for the next 20 years, 30 years. I don't care. I don't care. You see, for me, what's available on that side of the ocean is so worth the cost. The woman that I've become, as a result of being connected to the continent, the empowerment, the confidence, the freedom, it's worth all of it. Period. And I would say probably maybe for some of you guys, it's not that clean cut. You can't really say that. You don't really know how you stand. Well, I can tell you right now, you might backpedal. If you're not prepared to be all in with your decision on the continent, I'd say don't even do it, because the cost that's involved might be too high for you. The cost that's involved might be too high. If you're not ready, because see, for me, it's all or nothing with me. All right. I need to make my life work on the continent, basically to make my word be true, because I've gotten out here on an additional limb than some of you guys. I've come before people with the social media platform. I've promoted the continent. I've gone out there and displayed a lot of, promise on the continent. I got to make it work. And I'm prepared to do that. So for me, there's really no safety net. I'm willing to pay the cost. As James Brown says, pay the cost to be the boss. Okay. What are some other potential obstacles that you're going to meet when you go get that freedom in Africa? My backyard, she said the first one, immigration. Hello. What are some potential obstacles? Let me give you guys another one. Shout out to the African Superstar family. We got over 20 of you here. So please, we need to be interactive in the chat room. Okay. All right. I got the next one. Big shout outs to the African Superstar family, and special shout outs to Nana Dreams with that super chat. Hello, 21 of you. Please make sure you like the stream. I'll start shout outs in a minute. I've been reading a bit of the comments because they've been on point. Big shout outs to you guys. And let's see here. Okay, I got the next one. Potential obstacles you're faced when you go get that opportunity. Cultural differences. This one is huge for the diaspora. Okay, because especially you're coming from America, you're coming from the UK, you're used to how they do it in England, you're used to how they do it in France, you're used to how they do it in Canada. You only speak English. Hello. You get to Senegal and they're speaking Wolof, they're speaking French. You go to Kenya, they're speaking Swahili, and you're like, oh my gosh. Okay. You get to Ghana and you see how big funerals are. You see that they do billboards for funerals. And they have massive funerals that are kind of reminiscent of parties. And you're thinking, wow, this is completely different than what I'm exposed to in the West. Cultural differences. Hello, you're a woman who is very independent, likes speaking her mind and likes doing everything on her own. Well, in Africa, it's a different world. Cultural differences is a potential obstacle. Okay, they don't think the way that you think as an American. They don't operate the way that you operate as an American. If you're coming from the Western world, you're usually very time conscious because we're kind of slaves here. Okay, we got 30-minute breaks. We got to be at work at 8 o'clock, or our manager's riding our ass about 5 minutes late. You come to Ghana and they're on Ghana time. You go to Nigeria, they're on Nigeria time. Event says it starts at 6 o'clock. You get there at 5:30. Nobody's there. Nobody's even there at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. They're getting started. Okay, cultural differences. A mature mind understands. I live in a new country now. Now, if you, for instance, go to India, a Black American, a Black British, or French, German, they would anticipate that, wow, India is different than the country I go to. Somehow, members of the diaspora think they are versed on African nations where they've never been. Huh? They've been watching a little bit of Hidden Colors documentary. They've been on YouTube. They bought their little dashiki. Hello? Learned a couple greetings. Ashe. Assalamu alaikum. And now when they land in, these various countries, they think they got it under their thumb. The reality is you don't have it under your thumb. Are you going to navigate the cultural differences to get your opportunity? Are you going to learn about the people that you're living among and create alliances and get in? Are you going to do that? Or are you going to be on the opposite side and stay in your corner and refuse to learn? You're above that. You don't need to know. Well, if you take that attitude, you're not going to be successful, period. We've seen lots of examples of failures already in that department in the diaspora. Okay, you come to Africa, let me tell you guys, hello, pro tip, you got to get busy, all right? You are an adult. A lot of, my viewers are 30 years and older. You're an adult now, and you're moving to a brand new country. Nobody knows you. Maybe a couple people know you, okay? And that's it. You are going to have to put yourself out, okay? To make new friends, to learn the community, to be abreast of the cultural differences, perhaps learn the language. You're going to have to go above and beyond, okay? Is it fair? Huh? Is it fair? Is it right? Is it right that at 35 years old or 47 years old or 65 or 70 that you're trying to learn a brand new place? Is it fair? Huh? That you just learned about potential options? It's not fair. It's not right. Ideally, we should have learned the knowledge that we needed for us to make comprehensive decisions a long time ago. But guess what, guys? Guess what? It's not in their design for us ever to leave the plantation and go back home. They're not going to empower us to do that. A mature mind understands, okay, these my enemies, this government, these people who are the shot callers of the way that we live life want me to be an asset to them. They don't give a damn about the quality of my life. They don't care if I'm fulfilled. They don't care if I take advantage of opportunities. They don't want me to get the leg up. So they're not going to give you these things that would do just that. And if you're smart enough to realize, wait a minute, these people want to use me to their own advantage. I have to empower myself. I got to go out here on my own and figure it out. I got to learn the knowledge that's been kept from me. I got to do this. I got to do that. And I got to be strong. You got to make that decision if you're going to take it there. I don't think I have to tell you guys the decision that I've made. But some of our people, hello, are so entitled, and it's disgusting because how you expect anything of value from your captors is crazy. Crazy. They are not going to give you any advantage. Some of you guys think they're actually going to give us reparations so we can take that money and go build ourselves up in Africa. Are you serious? Hello? Some of you guys are still waiting for them to tell you that you're equal to them. Some of you are still waiting for rights. Let me tell you something. Rise above. Actually, the truth is you don't need them to tell you anything because you are and you always were. You were, the minute you were born, you were entitled to human rights. You don't need another person to tell you that you deserve it. You got to let them know that, hey, I am having it, whether you giving it to me or not. And guess what? If you're going to restrict me in certain environments, if you're going to try to put your freaking foot on my neck, I'm going to rebel. I'm going to reject that because I don't deserve that. And that's what a lot of us going to Africa is effectively saying to these Western nations is, look, you try to pigeonhole my life. I'm not okay with that. You try to restrict me. You try to put the glass ceiling on my aspirations. No, I'm not standing for it. Like I said, I'd rather pay $1 million to have the potential in Africa than stay living in this small box. Period. period. And I know some of you guys are like, Gina, why are you shouting? Because I'm so passionate about this. I'm so passionate. I'm also very offended. I'm very offended by these Western nations trying to suppress my people continually. You know, seeing the greatness that our people have and doing everything that they can to either capitalize, destroy, discourage, and prevent us from manifesting our fullest potential. Okay, I want to be everything that I was designed to be. I want to be everything that was placed inside of me to be. And when I look at my lifestyle in the West versus my lifestyle in Africa, who I've become, you know, like I said, this musical journey, it's all manifested in Ghana. It's something I never ever knew had any interest in. Why? Because I was too busy with the rat race. You see? And so when I look at that parallel, I think to myself, the world around me knew definitely that I was special. Some of you guys can attest. You know, you're the kind of people when you come into the room, your presence commands attention. You know, people gravitate to you. They put you in leadership roles. They seek advice from you. All this stuff comes from the fact that you are a natural born leader. You are of importance. You are of character. You are of stature. You know, people see it and they sniff it and they smell it. And those of us that have been in these environments, these Western environments, our peers see that. And when they do, it's like they get on the hunt. They get on the attack. It's like they want to just smother that little light out of you. And I have a big, huge issue with people restricting my upward mobility. If I go up and F up my life, that's my own decision. That's my own bad. But you're not going to do it. You're not going to tell me what I can do and who I can be. Who the hell are you to dictate? Even my own mom will tell me, you can do this, you can do that, Gina, you're amazing, you're smart, you're talented. So who are you outside of you? The woman who gave birth to me will tell me I can do anything. The woman who gave birth to me will tell me I'm incredible and I'm smart and I'm capable. Hello. But then some damn stranger, some, descendant of, a captor, someone who abused my ancestors is going to put the cap on me. I'll be damned. I'll be damned. And if they do, listen, whatever needs to happen to me for me to be smothered out, they're going to have to do it to me. I'm not going to let them do it. I'm not going to let them do it. I'm not going to take their word. I'm not going to keep quiet. I'm not going to shut up. I'm not going to just let it happen. Oh, well, if it's in God's will, what will be, what will be. Excuse my language. Fuck that. I'm sorry. I'm unhinged today. I'm unhinged. Because a lot of us give them the ability to dictate our lives, and it's not correct. It's not right. Nobody's going to dictate my life but me. And that's it. And if I'm in environments where I'm being hindered, then in the words of Ludacris, move, get out the way. Hello. I wanna challenge those of you guys that feel hindered. Listen, there's 195 countries out here in the whole world. All right. If the environment that you are in is not supportive of you, then go elsewhere. Okay, maybe it's not Africa. It is Africa for so many people. There's a lot of benefits for us as Black people in Africa. Okay, it's the only place in the world we can go where there's a Black majority, where we can just blend in and just be. All right, we don't face the racial construct over there, and we have upward mobility. And if those of us coming from the West, we have that currency exchange, we can become in Africa what we could never be in these environments. All right, but I digress. If it's not Africa, again, you still have so many options to check out a supportive environment for you. There is no reason for you to live day by day on your knees. There is no reason. And I'm not talking about you're giving service to your, significant other. I'm talking about you live in a defeated state of mind. There is no reason. I challenge you. Okay. Now, if you are like our ADOS sisters and brothers, our FBA brothers, you're completely happy living on your knees and kissing the ass of the oppressors, then go ahead. That's fine. All right. But if you're like me and you're basically they're pushing you on your knees. They're saying, get down, Gina. Get down. Obey me. I told you. This is how it's going to be. Nah. Then you got it. No. All right. Get in where you fit in. Like Amina says, get in where you fit in. That's not the end all be all. But guys, again, it comes from the soul. It comes from inside that says, no, I refuse. There's a lot of our ancestors that said no. They said, F it. You're not gonna make me change my name. You're not gonna make me do this. I'm not gonna obey you. You see what I'm saying? Rebel, reject that stuff. Reject it. You know, I come here day after day after day just to motivate those of you guys that understand that there is prospects for us greater than what we are presented in this environment. And I want y'all to go out there and get it. Because it's yours. Because you deserve it. Because it's what you have been robbed of. You know, imagine you were able to trace, I give this example all the time. Imagine that our people were never, ever removed from Africa, except that they wanted to voluntarily travel or migrate to other countries. Okay. Let's say that the slave trade never happened. Do you know probably how much generational wealth and prominent families and, all this kind of stuff would exist? Because as we go back and study the generations, even what we know in America, as far as what various generations of Black Americans accomplished, we had like Harlem, we had like the Black Wall Street, you know what I'm saying? We had all kind of businesses, all kind of musical, scientific breakthroughs, all this stuff. Every time we make some headway in these Western environments, they destroy it. Every time. Put their name on it, get credit for it, use some kind of legal loophole to take our patents or take credit for our work. So let's just think if we were in Africa and we weren't forcefully removed or any of that, where we would be in life. Guys, that's what we deserve. Hello. That's literally what people are trying to prevent us from being and becoming. And I mean, it gets me by the neck. You can tell I'm very emotional about that because it's like you're trying to take what's mine, man. You know what I mean? You're trying to block me in every corner from being who I'm supposed to be. And I have a huge problem with that. So at the end of the day, when you are coming to Africa, guys, the maturity in you has to know that there's so many traps out there. There's so many obstacles out there, and all those things are simply there to try to discourage you from taking what is yours and being who you are. Now, don't get me wrong, any continentals here. I'm not talking about taking, coming and displacing people. No, I'm talking about what was entitled to you that you never even was aware of or you didn't even have access to. The cultural norms that you don't know, the heritage you don't know, all these things that we have literally been robbed of. It's time to be the one to say no. I personally have a big issue with the Western world pretending like Black people don't belong in this society, pretending like all of us are immigrants when a lot of people have been here for, many, many generations. It's like, well, what does it take to actually become a part of this environment? You still acting like, if all the history that we know surrounding the slave trade is correct, it's literally been centuries, but you're still referring to modern day Blacks that honestly have never been to Africa, don't know anything about it. You're still giving them the connotation as a foreigner. And I find that very offensive. And I don't know how, you guys feel about it. So that was my attitude, was like, well, hey, if I ain't from here, then I ain't from here, right? I shouldn't be living here, right? I should actually go be living in my homeland, and I should actually be living in a lap of luxury off of your dime because, hey, I never asked to be here. Did I? you know, and that is my situation. That's how I feel. So big shout out to African Superstar family. You see, y'all see I got turned up already. Hello. The first trivia question is, what are some of the potential obstacles that you will face when you go and pursue your opportunity in Africa? The first one was immigration. The second one was cultural differences. The next one, thank you, Mr. Teddy Davis, land scams. Hello. So now you've saved up your 5, 10,000, 20,000, whatever, how much money, and you come to Africa and you're like, I'm about to get this plot. All right. You hop in an Uber and your Uber driver says, hi, welcome to Ghana. Welcome to Nigeria. Aquila, Jumbo, you've gone out to East Africa. You're in Tanzania. You're in Kenya. Jumbo, you're welcome. Hello. Then they start giving you the 20 questions. Well, how long are you going to be here? Who do you know here? Where do you live? Do you have a husband? Do you have a wife? They want to know all your information. And then gradually, hey, I have a cousin that sells land. Well, I know somebody who does this and that and blah, blah, blah. Well, you need a car. You need whatever. And they know people. It's not the proper channels. All right. If you go with that option, you need to thoroughly investigate it, because land scams, again, this is something that's very foreign to us. Okay. For the most part in America, the Western world, what you pay for, you got to get. There's actually legal processes that can ensure that, even if a person doesn't honor their agreement, you can take them to court, you can sue them, and maybe try to recoup your money or whatever. If a website doesn't send you your package, you can get a replacement, get your cash back. There are processes in place, and we are very accustomed to just paying up front and getting what we want or need on the back end. Things are a little different in Africa. All right. And this is an obstacle. So you need to be aware of this, and you need to ready yourself for it. You need to learn from people that have been through it. All right. If you are coming to various countries, let's say you're heading to Nigeria, let's say you're coming to Ghana. Okay. You want to be you want to verse yourself in it. Just go on YouTube and type land scams in Tanzania. I bet there's going to be a lot of videos that come up. Certainly if you do it in Ghana, certainly if you do it in Gambia, lots of videos about land scams, people being scammed, all of that. Okay. Educate yourself. The mature mind is going to say, okay, there's a lot of opportunists out there. I'm coming to a country I don't know, and I want to make sure that I'm getting land. Now, obviously, if you guys are looking for land in Ghana, I'm trusted. If you want to go through me, so be it. If you want to go through various other channels, just do your due diligence. All right. When it comes to Ghana, you can shop for land with ease through me and Sister Ya. Otherwise, I don't know. Do your due diligence. All right. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Okay. I'm going to look for a few more, and then I'm going to start the shout outs. My Black Yard says transportation. Obstacles. Some of you guys come from London, where there's an amazing, subway train. Okay. You don't even have to drive to get around, and so on and so forth. Or maybe you're coming from New York City, or maybe you already have your own car, your personal car in the West. Now you've gone to Ghana, now you've gone to Senegal, you're trying to navigate these taxis, you're trying to think about, how am I going to move my stuff? Where can I get a moving truck? These kind of things. It is a potential obstacle to your opportunity. All right. You buy land. Now you need to get out there and, clear the land. You got to figure out all these things. It's not as simple as Google, what you're used to in the Western world. Melody Nia says, being overcharged, because there is a belief that all Americans have money. Another obstacle. Okay. People think we're rich. Now, I did a video saying what is actually wrong about that. Actually, for Black Americans and diasporans, going to Africa is the only place that immediately we're going to be seen as rich. Okay. Everywhere else we go to Italy, we go to China, we go to, Latin America. They think we have nothing. Africa is the only place we go, and they're like, oh my God, there goes that Black American. She's loaded. She's a millionaire. He's a millionaire. So obviously being seen as rich I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. It's definitely better than being seen as poor, but it does come with that expectation. It does come with people trying to hustle you and charge you extra and all that kind of stuff. It is an obstacle that you are going to have to face if you come to the African world. Please don't cry about it. Stop crying about it, because we told you about it. So when you get there, anticipate it. Hello. Anticipate it. The mature mind says they think I'm rich. So of course they're going to try to charge me extra. Because if I was rich, hey, this extra, $10 wouldn't make a difference. The mature person is going to, I can't explain to them how life really is in America because they've been brainwashed and they've never traveled there. So I don't even need to have that conversation. And remember, you always have an option to say yes or no, guys. If the deal is absolutely ridiculous, you can walk away. Okay, you don't have to be suckered into doing things that you don't want to do or whatever. And actually, in some cases, being able to pay to play, being able to pay to play is an amazing aspect sometimes. I'm just going to be real. A lot of you guys don't ever get that option in America. You can't just dash somebody a little something to get something resolved. Hello, am I telling the truth? You can't just call them and say, hey, man, this is a gift for your wife. This is, let me take you for lunch and get stuff done. No, you can't do that here in America. You can't do that. You can't do that in the UK. You can't say, oh, I need this workaround, this problem that I have and just sort it out with a little bit of cash. You can't. You see, so I personally believe when it comes to this issue right here, it's a mentality thing. See the positives of being able to of people having that perception of you, because the 100% honest to God truth is rich people get more doors open to them than poor. Hello. If you're poor, you might not like to hear that. If you're poor, you get pissed because that rich people get, they get favors. They get away with what? They get away with murder. Hello, they get away. I know for a fact I get preferential treatment in Africa. 100%. That's why I live there. That's why I love to be there. If I have more money, but I've been able to get around problems amazingly in Africa, in Ghana. I'm not just going to say in Ghana, in Africa, because I've been able to finagle in different places. Things I know for a fact, if I was in England, they wouldn't give a damn. Matter of fact, if I try to step to them and say, hey, look, I'm going to give you extra 500 pounds and make this problem go away, they might even arrest me for bribery or, solicitation or whatever they call it. That is, in my opinion, it's an asset in Africa. Sorry. Black people can participate in the bribery gang. You guys will say corruption. I say, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. There's always going to be rich and poor in this world. This is the truth. Some of you guys don't like it because some of you guys are lofty and fanciful and all of that, and you live in la la land. But the reality is there's going to be rich and poor in the world forever. Okay? There have been rich and poor before you and I were ever even conceived, and there's going to be rich and poor until we die and beyond. Your goals is to make sure you're not on that poverty line. Hello. And like Jay-Z said, how can I help them if I'm poor, basically? So, if your goals is to help mankind and all this stuff, you've got to elevate yourself. People are not going to listen to you when you are on the equal plane with them. They're not. Okay. Our people are geared towards this whole celebrity leadership construct. Okay. They only listen to you when you've made it. They only listen to you when you have prominence, when you're up there, when you're rich, when you look good, when you've overcome. That's the only time people want to listen to you. Don't get it twisted. Okay. If I was sitting here telling you, hey guys, go live in Africa, but I didn't live in Africa, y'all wouldn't listen to me. If I was here telling you about moving there and doing business there and about becoming a musician there, you wouldn't listen to me if I didn't do it. Huh? You wouldn't listen to me if I didn't jet set around the world and live that kind of life. You wouldn't listen to me. I wouldn't listen to me. Because you got to have some proof in the pudding. That's just it, guys. So I challenge you guys, my viewers, to change your perspective about this. They think we're rich. That all they want from me is money and this and that and the other. Listen, it's the part that goes with the preferential treatment as being seen as a rich man or woman. I know perhaps many of you, before you came to the continent, you've never, ever, ever been seen as a rich person. So you don't know what it's like. But for rich people, that is how it's like. All right. If you are a person who intends to be rich, a future of riches, hello, get used to people wanting opportunity from you. It's part of it. There ain't no way in hell somebody's going to be suffering and hustling, trying to make it, and they see somebody who they think is rich, or they think somebody, they meet somebody that could potentially open doors for them, and they're not going to go and get it. There's no way. If you think so, let me give you this example before I move on to the next point. Let's say you were starving, all right? Let's say you hadn't had a meal in 3 days, all right? You see me coming out of, let me think of a restaurant. Let's see. You see me coming out of Pizza Hut, all right? I got 5 boxes of pizza in my hand, all right? You haven't eaten in 3 days. I got 5 boxes of pizza, and then you see I got the little bag, and you know there's some chicken wings in it because you can smell it. You are starving. You would be a fool. You would be a fool to not approach me and say, ma'am, please, I have not eaten for 3 days. I need some food. I have 5 boxes of pizza. That's more pizza than one individual could eat. Even if you were a fat, huge glutton, I think you couldn't get through 5 boxes of pizza. So that indicates this person has nothing to spare. It's not like I have 1 piece of pizza that's hanging in my mouth and you asking me for a bite of it. I have excess pizza. So that is how people see us, guys. They obviously don't see us in the same situation with them. Okay? They don't see us in the same situation with them. And so they think we have nothing to spare. They think we have extra. This is why, if you're smart, you realize when you come to Africa, a lot of rich people keep a very low profile. That's definitely the case in Ghana. I know plenty of rich people in Ghana, and they act as if they're working class. They act as if they have nothing. You just see them getting into that Bugatti. You just see them pulling up to a mansion. You just see them paying $10,000 cash for this and that, or traveling here and there, wearing the finest clothes. That's how you know that they're rich, but they don't run around and flex it. You'd be hard pressed to see somebody in Ghana wearing diamond chains everywhere, rolling around, spraying money, you know, if it's not like a wedding or a baby shower, but going to like the nightclubs and buying you'll be hard pressed to see a lot of that stuff, because a lot of African people do not flex because of this fact. Because they know that once the whole community finds out they're rich, everybody's going to be on them about getting money. Black Americans need to learn these things when they come, so that they can move right and so that they won't be offended all the time. Use that analogy if you're struggling to understand why these people keep asking me for money. I don't have any money. They think they see you with the theoretical 5 boxes of pizza, and they haven't eaten. And if that was me, I would 100% approach that person and say, listen, I haven't eaten in 3 days. You have 5 boxes of pizza plus a bag of chicken wings. Please give me something to eat. Because at the end of the day, closed mouths don't get fed. And once you get to Africa, you realize, hey, people got to hustle to make it out there. There's no welfare. There's no governmental assistance. If you don't get out and make something happen, nothing's going to happen. And that's why they're ambitious. That's why they're thirsty. That's why they're hungry. That's why they're going for it. They identify that you got something they need. They're going to go and get it. So I know I've been on that point for a minute. Sorry. You guys are like, Gina, what did you wake up on today? Sorry. Big shout out to the African superstar family. All right, let me start at the top. And do my shout outs. I appreciate everybody who's in the building. We got over 30 of you. Please, if you like this content, join our family. All right. Make sure you subscribe. You can also support the stream. I always appreciate the support of this content, because a lot of people can't talk to y'all like this. You see what I'm saying? It takes a lot of courage and tenacity to come out here and talk these messages in the face of adversity. So whenever you sow a seed, it's great for me. Don't forget, you can also purchase and locate my music at bandcamp.com, bandcamp.com. If you claim to be an African superstar music lover, you need to have a couple of my tracks on your playlist or the whole catalog. So you can find it at bandcamp.com. And shameless plug, we do have an upcoming tour. So if you're like, you know what, I love the African superstar, I love her so much, I want to see her, I want to chill with her, come on my next tour, guys, and I will give you a warm welcome to Ghana. It's in October 2024. The dates are the 21st to the 27th. Me and Mr. Taya Uhuru are hosting our second tour, and the first one was in March, and we had a lovely time. So we welcome you to come on our tour. If you're interested, go to www.tayeahuru.com, and you can put in your deposit on the website, as well as view the full itinerary of what we have going on for you in Ghana. Big shout outs to the guys. Yeah, please make sure you like the stream. Today, we have Miss Blackyard in the building. Nana Dreams, big shout outs to my moderators, everybody with the wrench. I appreciate you guys. Teddy Davis is in the building. I love you too. I gotta just talk sometimes, because it's just a lot of foolery going on out here. And I'm like, will somebody just keep it real? But I realize that a lot of them can't keep it real because, you know, they're not genuine with their messages, or they're looking for money, they're looking for fame, they're looking for favor, and you know, they're people pleasing. When you're people pleasing, the truth is the last thing you want to talk, because that's not what people want to hear. People want to hear the sweet prosperity, you know, the lies, basically. That's what people want to hear. That's what makes them feel good. The truth is a call to action. All right. The truth is a call to action, and a lot of people don't like it. So I appreciate you, Teddy, for seeing me as I am. What's up, family? If you're in the building, please, I'm doing shout outs now. Shout outs to Queenie. I see you there. Much love to Nana Dreams, supporting our platform and sowing a seed. I really appreciate that, sweetie. Nana Dream says Africa is not cheap, but it's worth the cost. I already went over this point, but it bears repeating. All right. What's available to us on the continent? Hello. We're not just going to get off the plane and go pick up our prosperity. Somebody says, hey, we've been waiting to give this to you. No, you might have to dig. You might have to locate. You might have to turn on your, your sat nav or your GPS. You might have to spend a little time. You might have to do research. You might have to pay somebody. You might have to do something to get the opportunity. But get the opportunity. Okay, don't make your journey to the continent be futile. Don't let your haters have the last laugh on your behalf. Whatever you set out to do on the continent, whatever was your, main objective of coming there, please accomplish it. You know, those of us that have promoted the continent, we want our peers to be successful in this endeavor. We do. Because the opportunity is there. Now, I do understand challenges come, and it is a journey. You know, you're not going to come to the continent and have your life completely transformed in, 48 hours. You know what I mean? It's not realistic. Maybe even after a couple months, you're not settled. Maybe even after a couple of years, you're still going through it. The ends justify the means. Okay, if you came to the continent to be a landowner, you came to start a business, you came to, for your health, you came for your mental well-being. The proof is that those things will get better or ultimately be healed or just put you in a better position. But that doesn't happen in 48 hours or 2 months or maybe even a year, which is why we have the mission statement on this platform of SMP, strategy, maturity, and patience. Okay, it's a long haul thing. All right. I would say if you're not ready to do long haul in Africa, you need something, right away. You need returns within 2 months, 6 months. Listen, just come and do holidays in Africa. All right. Just come and do vacations, because living there is a process. And again, there's the mature mind and there's the juvenile mind. The mature mind understands that you are a grown adult who's picking up and moving to a whole new country. You're basically starting over at ground zero. The mature mind knows that in order for you to get in position, it's a transition and it takes time. The juvenile mind is thinking of tooth fairy. They're thinking, okay, I moved to Africa. I moved to Ghana. I came to Senegal. I'm in Egypt tomorrow. It's all good. Next year, I got a whole husband. I got 2 kids. By year 2, 3, I'm a millionaire. I own 6 acres of land. That's a juvenile mind. Okay. If a lot of us are honest, when we were younger, we had a juvenile mind. Unfortunately, some adults, I hope not many on my channel, but some adults still have a juvenile mind. Some adults think I'm going to take this plane to, this plane to Africa and it's all good. Hakuna Matata, no more worries. That's a juvenile mindset, guys. And I really, really encourage you to be mature, have an adult mindset, understand that, yes, there's opportunity in Africa, but it comes with obstacles. Big shout out to Nana Dreams on that part. Ernie, I see you, sweetie. He says, changing or growing the mindset is key in every endeavor. Keep it up. Much love to you, Ernie. I appreciate you. I think that's one of my Ghana foes. Medowai. I know this name Fosu, so I think the surname. Yes, big shout outs to you for that point. Vet was in here. She's probably gone. She had a patient. I see you there. My Black Yard also offers up another obstacle to your opportunity in Africa. Being a single woman can be very problematic in Africa. I've kind of touched on this, but listen, the African world, most societies in Africa, they are what is it? Part of the patriarchy. Is that it? Lord have mercy, the word didn't slip my head. Oh my God. Yes, basically male led. Okay, so that means that women are not always taken seriously. When you're trying to conduct business and all these things, we're used to doing everything and being seen as, these strong, independent, very capable women and all of this stuff. A lot of women here drive their own cars, own their own houses, own their own businesses. And, they do everything without a man. In Africa, it's not like that, and that's hard for some women who are used to just taking care of their affairs on their own and being taken seriously. So you got to get into your femininity a little bit. Okay. As some women would feel like they have to take down a little bit. Yeah. But the reality is a lot of the positioning that we're in the West is kind of unnatural. Now, I know this might be controversial because some of you feminists and all of that, but we have been put in a position to be a one-man show in the West. And that's not how it's supposed to be. We're actually supposed to be counterparts. All right. There are roles to the male and there's roles to the female. All right. And if we're honest, a lot of us have been functioning and doing so much in the West, way more than our share. And it's actually really overwhelming. So when you come to Africa, you're going to have to calm down, ladies, calm down and learn how to navigate those waters, and sometimes you got to let males take the lead. Even if you just have a liaison, you just have a friend or you have this and that, in my case, I have a manager. I have a young man, young male manager. His name is Cyril Starbitch. Shout out to Cyril. If you see this, man, I love my manager. A lot of times he speaks on my behalf. Sometimes I tell him exactly what I want him to say or what I want him to research or whatever. And he's the male figure that's associated with me that handles a lot of business on my behalf. Women have to figure out how to navigate that because I know if I go in front, they're going to charge me extra. If I go out in front, they might flirt with me. They might try to date me or whatever. This is because this is normal male-female interactions. All right. So that is a potential obstacle that you might face when you go for your opportunity in Africa. Ladies, be aware. Big shout outs. Yes, I'm doing shout outs right now and I'll be wrapping up when I get to the end. Shout outs to Amina and all my other moderators. Yes. Amina talks about very unrealistic expectations and a lack of maturity. A lot of that happening in our diaspora. And it's unfortunate. This is a disadvantage. All right. This is a disadvantage because, when you come to Africa, if you had some knowledge about it, or if you had done some travels, or if you kind of empowered yourself, you might be able to come boots on ground. By the time I moved to Ghana, after 4 years of traveling there, When I moved there, I was able to boots on ground because I was familiar with the place. But some of you guys are picking up and moving to countries you don't know. I think it's incredible how some of you guys are doing that. But I can imagine that would be it could be a very challenging transition, and therefore in some cases people are not successful and people are left, with a lot of unanswered questions and stuff because they've come like that. So you want to have realistic expectations. You're not going to outer space and you're not going to heaven. Okay. You're going to another place in the world that has human beings, and human beings have tendencies, and you got to navigate it. That's just the truth of it. Big shout outs. What's up? What's up? What's up? Tony Africa's in the building. I see you. I love you, man. Big shout outs to you. My Black Yard says the journey isn't for the weak. Woo! Turn up the volume. Zoo and Shayna, hi, sweetheart. I see you. Yes. And she's also greeting the family. Amina says the U.S. didn't even give reparations to the survivors of the Tulsa massacre. Facts. So she's basically saying what I've been saying, which is, hey, guys, those of us that, may have ancestors that are part of the transatlantic slave trade, hoping for these reparations. I mean, it's very improbable, like she's saying, there were people who lived and died that went through other verified, because I can't say that the slave trade is not verified, but people, because it happened so many hundreds of years ago, people like to say, well, it never happened. We don't have proof in this and that. Okay, well, with the Tulsa massacre, that is verified. Okay, that happened within the last 2 centuries, and it's totally verified. And the people who were victims of that didn't even get no reparations. All the more, reaching is those of us, who are talking about an event that happened, centuries ago, being compensated for that by people who don't even want to take any accountability of anything that they do. It's just improbable. But you can keep hoping and wishing. You can keep hoping and wishing, but I want my little nugget right here and now in my life. And I believe my nugget is available to me in Africa, and I believe that's the only place it's available for me. So guess what? Guess where I'm at? And guess what I'm trying to figure out? And guess what I'm navigating? I'm going to go ahead and try to recoup my physical nugget in Africa. I'm not going to wait for a bird in the bush. All right? Big shout outs. I appreciate you guys showing love there. Shout outs to Seafood Thoughts with that super chat. I see you there, brother. Much love to you. Black Messiah is in the building. How are you doing today? What's up, Midnight Raven Sound System? I see you there. Roadways back to Africa. Much love. The family is in the building. Black Messiah said, I wish my reparations would come in the form of a check, passport, and repatriation back to Africa. Listen, they're not going to give us, guys, get it through your heads. I got to lean in for effect. They're not going to give us any advantages to go back to Africa and make it big. Let me be the first one to tell you. They're not going to give us any advantages to go back to Africa and make it big. Hello? They've systematically been destabilizing Africa for all this time. They don't want the Western blacks to go over there and set up shop. They're not going to give us anything that's going to help us in Africa. Nothing. And that's how your mindset needs to be. Matter of fact, whatever you siphon out of here, let me give you a pro tip. Whatever you siphon out of your Western setting to make it over in Africa is going to be by your own means. Hello. You're probably going to have to be a little sneaky and a little creative. Okay. Because if you notify them, hey, I'm moving to Ghana, they're going to hit you with taxes. They're going to ask for this. They're going to ask for that. Listen, my advice to you is don't report nothing that you don't need to report. Don't tell them nothing that you don't need to tell them. Stop volunteering information. Oh, I just got in touch with the government. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do. If I have to pay taxes, do I have to notify them that I'm moving to Ghana? Listen, Okay, you start telling them, you start asking unnecessary questions, they're going to start giving you unnecessary answers and unnecessary bills and unnecessary obstacles. Our people got to get out of this, not you, Black Messiah specifically, but our people got to get out of this mentality that we're going to be given stuff and people are going to help us and people are morally right. They're not. They're not. They never have been. They never will be. They don't give a damn about us and they don't want to help us. They don't like us. They're living fine, just capitalizing off of our back. And if they had it their way, that's how it will be forever, for the end of time. They don't want us to separate from them and go make a separate life. You know, I was watching that comedian Godfrey, and he said something that was so profound to me. He said, no, these white people do not like autonomous Black happiness. When Black people are among themselves and doing good for themselves and happy and stable, white people can't stand it. That's why they're always inserting themselves. That's why they're always disrupting ourselves. That's why they're always obsessed with everything we do, is because autonomous Black happiness, when we don't need them, we don't want them, we don't have them associated, they cannot stand it. Now they're happy, you know, they don't care if the Chinese are happy among themselves. They don't care if the Asians are. They don't care about nobody else but Black people, autonomous Black happiness. When we are just among ourselves, they cannot stand it. So in other words, please prepare your mind that, hey, if you're going out there in Africa, you decide to turn your back on the Western world, listen, you're riding by yourself, guys. They don't want this for us. Okay, this is not their intention. When they threatened us and said, if you don't like it here in America, go back to Africa, they weren't telling us because they thought we were going to do it. They were saying that because they have conditioned our mind to think of Africa as an undesirable place. And they were trying to be funny when they said go back to Africa. They didn't mean it for us to go back to Africa. They've been going and enjoying Africa for centuries. And at the time they were enjoying Africa, did they ever come back and tell us, hey, you should go to Africa, it's really nice? Hello? Did they do a special on CNN? Did they do any kind of travel, tourism? No, because they never wanted us to go, and they still don't. So they're not going to help us. All right? Sorry, went off about them reparations, but I just got to say it. I'm on one today. Big shout outs to the African superstar family today. I'm so sorry. I'm on that soapbox. I'm almost done though. I'm almost done because I know I'm shouting. Please make sure you like the stream. If you enjoy this content, let me see you. Let me hear you. Let me feel you. Let me know that you're in the room. Big shout outs to you guys. Amina says you got to pay to play. Period. You guys want free stuff? That's why your life is raggedy. I'm sorry. You know, I know there's a lot of ballers on my channel, but some of you guys are bums. All right? And it's because you don't want to pay for anything. You want free this, you want free that, you want handouts. Listen, designer doesn't ever get free. Okay? Designer doesn't even go discount. Okay? There's some restaurants, they don't ever have coupons. They don't ever have discount days or family and friends. You got to pay to play. The more valuable things are, the higher the cost. Okay, that's why you can't go out here and get a rich man's car or go buy a house in their neighborhood or buy a private jet or anything of high value. You got to have money. You got to pay to play. If you want to play in Africa, you're going to pay. If you ain't ready to pay, you can't play. And if you ain't ready to pay, you will be on a flight, next thing smoking, right back here to the West because, hey, there's really no safety net over there. So basically, you know, if you ain't making it happen in Africa one way or another, you're not going to make it. And that's just the truth. I know some of you guys don't like it. You know, the people who really don't like it, sorry, are the people who can't pay or won't pay. I just got to say it. All the ballers in Africa are doing just fine. And that's for members of the diaspora down to continentals. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I hate to say it. I really do, because I know some people fall into that category, but you know, and guess what? If you want to be a baller, Let's say you weren't a baller in the Western setting. Some weren't. Now, in my case, I can't go in that. I've been a baller, guys. It's a long track record. I've been a baller. Always wanted to be a baller and been a baller for years, decades. But let's say you weren't a baller and you like, you know what? I want to ball. I want to ball so I fall. Guess what? Come to Africa and pay to play. And you'll change your fortunes, my friend. Yes, you will. You can go from zero to hero. You can go from zero to hero in Africa if you're ready to pay to play. Sorry. You ready to make a name for yourself on the continent? All right. You ready to get some ownership under your belt? You want to own something for the first time in your life? Okay. You want to start that business? You want to get it popping? All right. You want to live luxury? It's not free. So if you ain't got money and you ain't ready to hustle, you ain't ready to pay, Africa's not the place. Sorry, just keeping it real. All the power players are coming there right now, even different ethnicities, and guess what they're doing? Guess what they're doing? They're paying to play. They're paying, they're bribing, they're doing this, they're scratching backs, they're doing favors, they're paying to play. If you don't want to pay, guys, the cost, Africa's not for you. And I hate to say, listen, some of those bums that come on my channel and talk a lot of stuff, they're in this category. They can't pay, they don't want to pay. And they're mad at the ballers that can do it and are doing it. They're mad because they're not in a position to do what we do. That's why they're really mad, guys. At the end of the day, I didn't want to say that on the other video, but that's what they're really mad about. That's why they want us to fail in Africa, because they can't do what we do. They're not in a position. They're busy counting our checks. How does Gina live over there without a job? How does she travel? How does she do this and that? Baby, I'm a baller. I'm not in the situation you're in. I'm not a scammer. You see, I don't even really, I have a couple products I sell. I don't sell no courses. I don't do no, MLM or pyramid schemes or none of that stuff. I basically have products. I talk about them every now and then. If you're interested, you can patronize them. I'm doing my thing. Pay to play. Let me move on. Woo! Black Beauty always. I see you in the building. Ashley in Africa. This is a big baller right here. Ashley in Africa. This girl right here. Listen, if you go to her channel, that's what I have to say. This girl right here, she's about to create. She's already started, but the empire that she's building in South Africa is ridiculous. This girl is going to be a millionaire. Might even beat her. I don't know her finances like that, but this girl right here, very talented individual, took her skill set from the West and she's doing her thing in South Africa. Exactly what I'm talking about. Just turning the tables on your fortune. If you believe in yourself and you know that you're capable, Africa's the place to be, because you're going to have less barriers and you're not going to have that glass ceiling sitting over you, restricting your upward mobility. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's up to, if you want to pay to play, it's up to that ambition. It's up to you navigating the challenges to become successful, but it's all in here. And quite frankly, we as diasporans, I know, again, some of you guys won't like this, but we really have the competitive advantage because we can go there. We can see, what needs to happen and how we can insert ourselves. If we need to take some time down and come back to the West and get capital, we can do that. We can do a lot of things. We can corner niche markets that have not yet been explored in these environments. We can bring Western type of products or services. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can happen. We have a lot of advantage. We have some disadvantages, but we have a lot of advantages. And if you're a positive person, you're going to see those, and that's going to be your focus and say, okay, I know I'm lacking this and this and this, but I have this and this and this and this. And matter of fact, some of my peers here in this environment in Africa don't have what I have. And so that's what the advantage is. Big shout outs, guys. All right. Big shout outs. What's up? What's up? What's up? Midnight Raven says, get used to people wanting some help. I've already covered this. I'm not going back. Midnight Raven says, give a selfish, not one, give a slice. He says some people that got all that pizza that I gave the analogy, if a person is starving and then they see somebody come out the pizza shop with 5 boxes of pizza and a bag of wings, You would be a fool as a person starving not to go to that person and say, yo, man, let me get some pizza, man. You got 5 boxes. You can't possibly eat all that food by yourself, plus the chicken wings. Just give me a slice. Midnight Raven saying some people still won't give you a slice. Some people still won't, but you as a starving person need to go try to get it. Big shout outs. What's up? What's up? What's up? P. Road Dusa says, poor isn't poor without a poor mindset. You have access to an ocean and fruit trees. What else do you need if your mind isn't colonized? Big shout outs. Everything really actually starts with the mentality. And Midnight Raven says, some have $1 million mindset with 0 opportunities. What are you doing as a Pan-African if you're not helping Africans? That one right there. You call yourself a Pan-African. What are you doing? What are you doing in Africa? How are you bridging the gap? How are you bringing people together? Are you positive or are you negative? That's a very important question. I would say if you're a Pan-African, ask yourself that. Ask yourself, are you a Pan-African on paper? Are you a Pan-African on Instagram or what? Or are you a real one? Do people say, yo, this is what you do. This is what you do. Every time I run into people, man, African superstar, you're promoting Africa. I love this. I love what you're doing. My kids love your music. This, that. Can you look at yourself and say, okay, this is what I'm doing in the name of my people. This is what I'm doing in the name of my country. This is what I'm doing with my journey, with my Pan-Africanism, with my activism. Big shout outs, guys. I gotta wrap up soon, man. Been on here for a long time. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? P. Rodusa says Africa has to help themselves with better governance and stop chasing the American nightmare. Big shout outs. All right. I gotta wrap up. Big shout outs. Liz Z, I see you there, sweetheart. Move in silence. Samuel Son 66 is in there. He says, believe they are messing with the Asians too. Okay, Black Messiah, I really got to wrap up here. Black Messiah says, I agree with you. White people want to dominate and control Black Americans. I am vacationing in Mississippi in July. 85% Black, 15% KKK. Yes, they do. Thank you so much for that super chat as well. All right. Global Greenbrook, I see you there. Shout outs to you, sweetie. I'm trying to get through this. Kelvin, I see you, brother. I respect you and Ashley because you both tell the full scale of the pros and cons of moving to the continent, unlike most YouTubers. We appreciate you, brother. We keeping it real. I only roll with authentic. You see, that's why I don't do all the collabs and all the YouTube click stuff, because they're YouTubers. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just a person sharing my experience on YouTube. I'm just a real individual who wants you to know what you're getting into, because I love my people and I really, 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 really want you to be successful. You know what I'm saying? I get tired of people looking at our people as a laughing stock. And I get tired of people talking down to us and thinking that we're going to take the okie doke because we're underperforming as a people. And so that means that those of you guys venturing onto the continent, I want to say, yeah, they're doing their thing. It makes me feel good to know that Ashley in Africa, you know, when I first connected with her here on YouTube, she didn't even have her own YouTube channel. I remember we talked about it and I was like, look, you can go for this. You should go for this. Now her platform has surpassed mine. You know what I'm saying? I know she's making that money on YouTube, big shout outs, but she has businesses and she's doing her thing. Successfully migrated, you know, she came and went to one country, then settled in South Africa, and she's doing her thing. And it makes me feel good that you are making it. And it also makes me feel that, hey, I was a little part of that process. I was involved in that. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how we need to see it. You know, and lose this whole crabs in a barrel. You know, there's so much opportunity out there. We don't need to feel if one person is shining that it takes away from our shine. In this case, Ashley, she balling out. She doing her thing. She got a big platform, but she don't take away from the African superstar. You see what I'm saying? We're operating in the same space at different capacities, and neither one of us need to step on each other's neck to get ahead or anything. You know, so big shout outs to Kelvin. I really love that. Thank you so much. Midnight Raven, you had a lot of comments, but I didn't get them all. But yes, we've come to the end. So there's 37 of you guys. So much love in the room. A lot of comments. I really appreciate when you guys engage. That's what makes these live streams even better. And so I want to give a special shout out today to all of my super chat donors. Where they at? They're not letting me do it. Oh, okay. Nana Dreams, Seatful Thoughts, and Black Messiah. Much love to you guys for sowing those seeds. So needed. The platform, you know, was demonetized for a grip. So thank you guys so much. And again, if you like this content, you don't want to miss live streams, make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you can be a part of our comments and all of that. If you're seeing the playback, go ahead and get in that comment section and let me know what you think about this. But a mature mind tells you when I come to Africa, there's obstacles on the horizon. All right. There's obstacles on the horizon 100%, but that's not going to stop me from shining. And that's not going to stop me from getting to the end result that I came here to do. Okay. A lot of people think we're going to fail in Africa, guys. A lot of people think we're going to fail. And we have to make sure that it's not a reality. But that's up to us. Okay. I'm glad the conversation was stimulating for you, brother. I appreciate that. I really do. All right, guys. I will see you guys again very soon. Much love to the African superstar family. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.